and green technologies if climate change is not a concern? And if it is not urgent, then why are global summits being held and international treaties being signed to tackle it? Climate change is not just hurting nature, it's shaking our lives. When storms get stronger and seasons become unpredictable, roads break, electricity fails.
Long before humans even existed, we had ice ages and warm periods in history without any human influence. So, how can we blame our society's problem entirely on climate change? Some of my opponents can argue that global warming is taking place by human influence only, but it is a natural process. And I want to question them that what evidence do you have that climate change mitigation would have a net negative impact on the economy? Secondly, humanity is adapting. We have better technologies in coming days. Weather forecasting, stronger buildings, and farming techniques. If pandemic wars also take place, humans have the ability and skill to survive and adjust. We are not helpless. So, my dear worthy opponents, can you please tell me how can one not survive in such climatic changes? Thirdly, there are many other problems in the world like poverty, lack of education, hunger, unemployment, etc.
Economies are growing and knowledge is expanding. But despite all this progress, we are facing one crisis that threatens all of this we have built, and that is climate change. Good morning, everyone. I am Tanishq Jaiswal and I am here to strongly support the motion on the topic climate change is the greatest threat to society. Let me begin with the science. According to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change (IPCC), human activities have already caused approximately 1.1 degrees Celsius of global warming above pre-industrial levels. We are on track to exceed 1.5 degrees Celsius in the coming decades, a threshold scientists warn could lead us to irreversible damage to weather systems and ecosystems. Now, let's continue with the most important thing, human life. Climate change is already causing more frequent natural disasters. Thousands of people die each year due to extreme weather events. The UN has warned us that between 2030 and 2050, climate change will add an additional 250,000 deaths per year. That includes deaths from heat stress, hunger, diseases like dengue and malaria, as warmer temperatures help mosquitoes to grow in different regions. My fellow friends should also know that climate change is also putting our food and water at risk. If you don't know, let me tell you. Rising temperatures and changing rainfall patterns are reducing crop yields. Droughts are making it harder for farmers to grow food. On the other hand, floods are destroying harvests and farmland. Even worse, countries that have enough food and water supply are now beginning to suffer. According to the UN, more than 820 million people are already facing hunger, and climate change is making this worse every year. Dear curious audience, let's talk about our economy. Climate change causes huge financial losses every year. In 2023 alone, climate change has cost the world over $250 billion. Storms destroy homes, roads, houses, buildings, schools, etc. Insurance companies are paying out more than ever. Poor countries suffer the most because there are fewer resources to recover, like fewer jobs, higher prices, more poverty, slower development. So, even if you don't care about the environment, you should care about the economy, and climate change is tearing it apart. This also changes undermines global security and stability. When crops fail, water runs dry, populations are forced to move, tensions rise. In fact, climate change has been called a threat multiplier by many defense experts, including the US Department of Defense itself. So, isn't it a threat to peace and stability? When people don't have enough food or water, they migrate. They are forced to leave their homes and move to safer places. This puts pressure on other communities and creates conflict. The more the planet heats up, the more we will see social unrest, political instability, refugee crisis, etc. The most terrifying part is that the damage caused by climate change is irreversible. Once glaciers melt, sea levels rise. We can't push the oceans back. Once species go extinct, they're gone forever. Once coral reefs die, entire ecosystems vanish. And these are not just pretty natural sights. They are essential to life on Earth. At the last but not the least, I would like to say that we can't afford to minimize or delay the action on climate change. It is not the problem of tomorrow, it is the problem of today. As climate change is sometimes misunderstood for being changes in the weather, but it changes the very way of life. So sense your responsibility and respect nature. Thank you and have a great day.
Earthquake beneath. Climate change may shake us, but it is not what breaks us. Good morning, I am Aradhya Chopra and I stand against the motion to express my views. Not because I deny its existence, but because I believe that by labeling it the greatest, we overlook threats that are faster, quieter, and far more immediate in their destruction. Let me take you back just few years ago to a world that shut down in silence. COVID-19, a virus invisible to the eyes but powerful enough to close borders, crush economies, and steal millions of lives. People died alone. Loved ones were not even allowed to say goodbye. Businesses shut forever, mental health collapsed, and that was just one virus. Now, imagine a more infectious one. Deadlier, no vaccine, no cure. Is climate change still the greatest threat to humanity? Let's talk about something we have created with our own hands. Artificial intelligence. We are programming machines that can think, speak, and learn faster than we can blink. Soon, we may not just lose jobs, we might lose control. One glitch, one algorithm, and entire systems, banking, healthcare, justice could collapse. Imagine AI debating a war or rewriting our elections. And I am sure some of you might have undergone threat and crimes created by AI by making fake calls, money transitions, and voices mimicking individuals. This is not a joke. This is our reality, and not by nature's doing, but by man's own ambition and audacity. So, my fellow opponents, this is not the only serious consequences, but the another biggest threat is nuclear weapons. Over 13,000 modern cities in storage across the world. Each one capable of flattening cities in seconds. No adaptation, no time to react, just instant irreversible extinction. That's not a slogan like climate change. That's a checkmate in a single move. But perhaps, in this very room, someone may be smiling but silently droning in anxiety, in depression, and in loneliness. One suicide happens every 40 seconds. We post about climate strikes but ignore the friend who hasn't spoken in weeks. What's the point of saving the planet if we are losing ourselves? And yet, amidst all this, climate change, though real and urgent, is a slow-moving threat. It gives us time to innovate, create laws, shift habits, raise voices, build solar farms, and we are. Awareness is rising, youth is marching, nations are acting. But ask yourself honestly, what will a society first? Rising sea levels, or the breakdown of truth, or a single wrong missile, or a teenager lost in silence too ashamed to ask for help? Dear opponents, the world isn't falling apart from one big enemy. It's crumbling from thousand small cracks we refuse to see. Climate change is one of them, but it is not the only one and it is not the greatest. The greatest threat is our obsession with only one big crisis while ignoring others silently screaming in the background. To call climate change the greatest threat is like treating a fever while ignoring a heart attack. And I am not saying this just as a student standing on this stage. I am saying this as a representative of a society that is breaking down quickly, quietly, constantly, and just all at once. We need to open our eyes to all the threats out there, not just the loudest ones. And let me tell you, my friends, it's not the planet that's heating up, it's the humanity that's burning down. Nature breathes in storms and flames, yet we dare to shift the blame. She gave in silence, we took in greed, not for survival, but for selfishly. Thank you.
Of class 7th, proudly representing Jhelum House. Today, I stand before you to speak for the motion on the topic climate change is the greatest threat to our society. Let me begin by the words of Robert Swan. The greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it. Friends, climate change is not a threat. Friends, climate change is not a far-off problem. It's here, it's real, and it is dangerous. And yet, many still ask, is it really the greatest threat? My answer is loud and clear. Yes, let me prove it. Climate change destroys through extreme weather. Heat waves, droughts, wildfires, floods, rising sea levels. These are not just natural events anymore. They are climate-triggered disasters, happening more often, more intensely, and with more destruction. In 2023, NASA confirmed it was the warmest year on record. The US suffered $28 billion disasters. In India, cities hit record-breaking heat waves in 2024 over 48 degrees Celsius. And in Canada, the worst wildfire season ever. Millions of hectares burned to ash. While my opponent may say that terrorism or war are bigger threats, but I strongly disagree. Terrorism affects nation and climate change affects the entire planet. It is global, long-term, and unless we act, irreversible. It threats food, water, and health. It is killing climate change. Climate change is killing crops with flood and drought. It is running harvest, drying rivers, causing food shortage. The United Nations report that in 2023, 330 million people went hunger, many due to climate-related disaster. Deadly heat waves are sending more people to hospitals. Diseases are spreading. Poor people suffer the most. Ask yourself, how can a society be safe when it cannot feed or protect its people? Some may argue that technology can save us. But I strongly disagree. But my friends, hope is not a plan. Technology can help, but it wouldn't stop rising seas, rising temperatures. A recent study found that these extremes have exposed $2.8 trillion in damage from 2000 to 2019. As the UN Secretary General said,
And I'm going to speak against the motion on the topic climate change is a big threat to our society. According to me, yes, climate change is real. Yes, it brings challenges, but calling it a big threat is an overstatement. A big threat is something that tears the society, breaks the system, and leaves us helpless. Well, climate change is not doing so. In fact, the societies are fighting back and succeeding. As my opponent said, that climate change is going to be unstoppable and will become the end of humanity. I don't agree to this point, and I can prove this also. Firstly, human beings are adapting and succeeding. Take the example of Netherlands. 1/3 of the country lies below the sea level. If climate change was really unstoppable, as said by my opponent, the Netherlands would have drowning. But does it happen? No. Why? Because the Dutch people built a world-class flood defense system with the help of dikes, seawalls, and water pumps, and turned their weakness into their strength. Is it a story of danger? No. It is a story of smart planning and survival. Nextly, we are using technology to deal with problems, which is a good thing. Let's look at India, a developing country. Many thought that it would struggle to deal with climate change. Since it lies near to the equator, the summers will be burning hot. But do you know, the government built many solar parks and solar power plants and turned their weakness into their strength. And as a result, we can see that India is globally the most solar power producing country. In fact, India rain is too hard and ice caps melt too faster. This is just not a scene of a movie. This is the reality. Rain is too hard and ice caps melt too faster. This is just not a scene of a movie. This is the reality. Good morning to everyone present over here, respected principals, sir, teachers, and all my dear friends. Today, I am Adya Kushwaha and going to present a speak on the topic climate change is a
I'm standing for the motion for this. First, I will describe what is the climate change. A climate change is a global and regional change in our weather patterns. The warmer temperature is disturbing the usual balance of the nature. It poses many risks to the human beings and all other form of their lives. And of course to our society. And my question to the opponent is it not a biggest threat? Is it? But why? Now I will tell you about the very harshing impacts of the climate change. The very harshing impacts, and firstly I would like to tell you about the hotter temperature. If data is known to you in the last year,
Of the species that survive, not the most intelligent one. It is the one
Hello.
who is adaptable to change.
Wait, beta. Children, all of you have come over here to listen to these participants. Okay?
Darwin. It's not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent one. It is the one most adaptable to change. Respected principals, sir, judges, teachers, parents, and all my dear friends. Good morning to one and all present over here. Today, I Satmanyu Sinapati from Ganges House going against the motion on the topic climate change is the biggest threat to society. Human beings have always adapted to their environment, from the ice age to the industrial revolution. We have constantly evolved, not just to survive, but to thrive. Today we have advanced technology, predictive climate models, and engineering innovations that allow us to respond swiftly to natural changes. Cities are building flood barriers, farmers are shifting crop patterns, and renewable energy is on the rise. These are the signs of resilience, not of helplessness. Global life expectancy is rising. Food productions is at an all-time high. Technological advancement is reshaping lives for the better. If climate change was truly the greatest threat to society, wouldn't we be witnessing collapse and not growth? Time and again, we have got extreme predictions in 2006 that Arctic would be ice-free by 2030. It didn't happen. In fact, Arctic has been seeing fluctuations, but no signs of disappearance predicted. Take the Netherlands for the example, a country where a large portion of land is below the sea level. But rather than flee or panic, the Dutch built one of the most advanced flood control systems in the world, the Delta Works. It's proof that whenever faced with challenges, we always innovate and adapt it. Similarly, in Mumbai, India, which often faces flooding in monsoon, the city is investing to improve drainage systems. If climate change was truly unmanageable, would countries like India be growing at such a rapid pace? Time and again, we have heard extreme predictions. The UN predicted that Arctic would be ice-free by 2030. It didn't happen. In fact, Arctic has been seeing fluctuation, but no signs of disappearance predicted. The Al Gore documentary, The Inconvenient Truth, 2006, said that sea levels would rise drastically. But nearly 20 years since, cities like New York, Tokyo, London are still thriving with no sign of submersion in sight. Once said by Michael Sullenberger that climate change is a real issue, but exaggerated policies and fear-based predictions will harm more than good. So I would like to ask my worthy opponents if we should base international panic on the basis of policies or predictions that overestimate disasters. Climate change is not the biggest threat to many regions. Over 800 million people are lacking in basic healthcare access in Africa. In Africa, over 600 million people are lacking in education, essentials for safety and survival. And yet, many international policies are discouraging these regions by limiting fossil fuel, all in the name of climate protection. So I ask you, is climate change a challenge? Yes. But is it a threat to society? Absolutely not. Instead of fear, let's choose facts. Instead of panic, let's choose our power to adapt. My worthy opponents and the lovely audience, I, Nikki, stand before you all to speak about the motion on the topic artificial intelligence poses a greater threat than opportunity. Friends, we all know that technology has taken most of our troubles to its extraordinary automated brilliance. But at what cost? My dear friends, have you ever thought of the cost? The cost is so high that it empties the treasure of human potential, human thinking capability, human creativity, human hardworking nature, and many more. Yes, I admit that artificial intelligence has given us a breakthrough from detecting diseases faster than the doctors to automating the farms. But remember, sharpen the sword is the more dangerous the sword. The same AI which can write poetry today can write propaganda tomorrow, and that time you won't be able to control it. You won't be able to control it. Now, let me debug this illusion and lay out 4 calculated facts why artificial intelligence isn't just smart but incredibly dangerous. Imagine you work hard, earn a degree, and you get replaced by a bot that does not sleep or need money. Yes, my dear friends, this isn't a science fiction anymore. This is reality. Artificial intelligence is taking the job from the people in manufacturing sector, logistics sector, customer services, even in journalism. Now, I would like to ask my worthy opponents, don't you think that artificial intelligence is creating economic tsunami? Because I believe wholeheartedly that artificial intelligence is just creating insecurity for the people who are skilled, educated, and for the people who are unskilled, uneducated, it's just creating unemployment. According to the survey in 2022, the Global Artificial Intelligence Database recorded 90 incidents of AI-related, and in just 3 months of 2023, there were already 45 more such cases. At that rate, we are heading towards 180 cases in a single year. Isn't this alarming? Nowadays, children no longer ask their parents, teacher, they rather prefer ChatGPT to give answer of the question. People don't try to cook, people don't try to even step outside, they just tap, scroll, and command. So I ask my worthy opponents that if our every smallest action is outsourced to AI, will the human body able to survive this evolution? According to the survey, 89% of the students
On your part, to be part of this audience and then not listening to what the participants have to say. All of them have come well prepared on topics that are relevant to you in your life. Whosoever is talking, I'm not saying everyone is talking, but whosoever is talking is a fool. And you know the meaning of fool. Listen to the participants and rather contribute. If you have something to say from your side, raise your hand. The comparers will call you. Raise your hand and come and say, I differ from you at this point. Or if you are having a question, you ask them. God has blessed us with such beautiful auditorium. Earlier we were sitting there taking part in such competitions, but okay. There were many distractions. Here we do not have any distraction except you yourself. Teachers also, I would request, please take rounds and that way ensure that children learn from here. We have not just come over here to pass time, gossip with each other and then go back to the class and go back home. Go back to your homes and tell your parents, today we learned this from the debates. That will be your learning. Upgrade yourselves, children. Please. I hope you will follow this for the rest of the debate and even for next time when you come over here.
Intelligence is not the enemy of humanity. It is the reflection of it. What we create will either mirror our fears or magnify our wisdom. Respected principals, sir, teachers, esteemed judges, fellow debaters, and all my dear friends. Good morning. Today, I, Sakshi Kumari from Ravi House, stand before you all, not just to oppose against the motion on the topic, artificial intelligence poses a bigger threat than opportunity, but rather to challenge a mindset of fear that threatens to hold back human progress. I firmly believe that artificial intelligence is not a threat, but a tool to uplift people. AI is not here to replace us, but to empower us, transform the way we live, making healthcare smarter, education wider, and lives longer. Let's look at the fact that AI is saving lives. It helps to detect cancer earlier than any human doctor could ever. It supports surgeries with robotic precision. It delivers mental health support to those who have no one else. Is it a threat or a miracle of modern science? In agriculture, AI helps farmers to increase crop yield by predicting climate change, weather patterns, soil quality, pest infestation. In education, AI is breaking down barriers. AI enables personalized learning, helping students to learn at their own pace, especially in remote areas, and my opponents call that a threat. Even in the corporate world, AI boosts productivity, automates routine tasks, and enables humans to focus on creativity, strategy, and leadership. Now let me address the other side fairly. Yes, AI can be misused. It can cause job displacement, raise ethical concern, and even magnify social biases. But the keyword here is can. These risks arise not from artificial intelligence itself, but how we choose to use it. Yes, AI will change jobs, but let us not confuse change with destruction. The industrial revolution changed jobs, the internet changed jobs, and yet every shift in history has created more opportunities than it has erased. The real problem is not artificial intelligence. The real problem is a generation unwilling to adapt. Let me ask you all a question. When light bulb was invented, did people ban it just because it may cause a fire? No, they used it, improved it, and built a brighter world. Today, artificial intelligence is that light bulb full of potential, waiting to illuminate every corner of our lives. Let me be crystal clear, artificial intelligence is not dangerous at all. Misuses. Fire can even cook a food or even burn a house. A knife can cut vegetables or even harm someone. Do we fear the tool or the hand that wields it? The problem is not artificial intelligence, the problem is human irresponsibility. And the solution is not fear. The solution is education, regulation, and vision. So I ask you all, will we move backward with fear or move forward with courage? Will we move backward with fear or move forward with courage? Will we bury a tool that can cure diseases, teach millions, and even save our planet just because we don't fully understand it yet? In conclusion, AI is not a threat to humanity. It is a test of our humanity. A test of our wisdom, our ethics, and our willingness to use power for the good. Let us not be prisoners of fear, but be leaders of innovation. Let us not block progress, but guide it with wisdom and ethics. Blaming AI for potential harm is like blaming a pen for writing a bad book. Artificial intelligence is the beginning of a new chapter in human evolution, not the end of the book. Thank you and have a nice day.
We're going to talk about a threat that's looming over us. A threat that's silent, invisible, yet potentially devastating. Yes, it's none other than artificial intelligence, the unnoticed harm. AI is often touted as a revolutionary technology that will change our lives for the better. But let's not forget that it's a double-edged sword. While AI can bring immense benefits, it also possesses significant risks. Why are we neglecting the dark side of innovation, my friends? As we celebrate the advancements in AI-driven healthcare, we must also acknowledge the potential risks that come with it. Our increasing reliance on machines to treat patients and diagnose them put a clear question on human touch. The loss of human agency is another concern. Autonomous vehicles, smart homes, personalized assistants may make our life more convenient, but they put an uncertainty on data ownership, manipulation, and surveillance. Think about it, my friends. We are losing control. Machines are taking decisions for us and shaping our entire future. But who is in charge of all these? Are we building something that serves us, or are we serving them? Machines smart, humans apart. A future uncertain, a work of art. Imagine a world where artificial intelligence surpasses human intelligence. You might be completely fine with it, but I am not at all. The danger of AI isn't that it will rebel against us, but that it will do exactly what we ask it to do. The danger doesn't lie in its capability, but our inability to govern it. The danger is not that it will become too intelligent, but that we will become too ignorant. AI can participate in social injustice by disproportionately benefiting the wealthier and more powerful, leaving behind the marginalized communities.
AI-controlled weapon systems can pose an existential threat to the world peace and disrupt the political stability. It can make unpredictable decisions which can be difficult for us to understand or anticipate. Now let me ask you something. Do we really want a day when AI-generated art will be the new standard for creativity? Are we ready for a day when human companions will be indistinguishable from AI friends? Absolutely no! The impact of AI is becoming more irreversible with every passing day, leaving us to wonder what happens when it outlasts us. Machines grow so fast might soon surpass. Human control will be aghast. The line between progress and danger blends away with every advancement. We're not just building machines, we're building a force that can outsmart and outlast us. For whoever here who perceives that AI and robots are merely here to serve humanity, think again. With driverless cars just on the list of growing applications, it is we humans who are to be dumbed down and ultimately subservient to machines. In the AI dilemma, we are faced with a daunting question. Will we be the masters or the servants? Will AI augment our humanity or diminish it? It's high time, my audience, that we ask ourselves, what kind of world do we want to live in? Do we want a world where AI serves humanity or a world where humanity serves AI? AI's potential vast, but also a test. Will we use it well or be possessed? What we are calling as an opportunity today is nothing else but just a stepping stone towards the end of the complete human race. Rules very few for AI's mind. Let's regulate it before it gets too late tonight. So let's get hold of artificial intelligence as soon as possible. Thank you.
But right here, in data, in circuits, and in intelligence we built. Esteemed judges, respected dignitaries, the ever-curious audience, and my fellow speakers. Today I, Adarsh of Satluj House, rise before you to speak against the motion that AI is a greater threat than opportunity. Today I am here not just to defend AI, but to defend human progress itself. Let me start by asking you this question. Since when did we start abandoning the tools that we ourselves have created? Since when did we start fearing the fire instead of lighting torches with it? Throughout history's greatest leaps, from the wheel to the printing press, from the electricity to the internet, all have been met with fear. Fear that it would replace us. Fear that it would change us. Fear that it will control us. But every single time, progress proved louder than panic. What we are forgetting is every single time, a machine that we have created, a tool that we have designed, has ultimately ended up amplifying us and not diminishing us. And AI is no different. Shocks me to the core that my opponents will have us believe that we should let fear guide our future, that we should slow down, step back, or even stop. Why? Just because we don't yet fully understand what we have created. If we had taken the stance 200,000 years ago in the face of the unknown, we'd still be in a cave, afraid of the fire. Now, let me address the biggest argument that my opponents go on and on about. AI replaces humans and AI will take our jobs. When the internet first arrived, we all said, it will isolate people, it will grow us apart, it will change children. But today, software, IT, and the internet are the biggest employer in the entire world. New industries have emerged, education has been scaled, societies are growing, and we as humans are evolving, all thanks to internet. I will not be surprised if someone sitting in this very room with a laptop and an AI engine will be earning millions more than someone who's working in a high-rise building in a metropolitan city, all thanks to AI. Sitting in this very room with a laptop and an AI engine will be earning millions more than someone who's working in a high-rise building in a metropolitan city. Because that's the power AI gives us. That's how powerful AI has become. AI is doing to repetitive tasks today is the same thing that electricity once did to candle making, freeing us. Now let me tell you about the legendary tale of Diya. Her name was Diya, her age was 9. Her parents saddened to their soul. Her doctors given up. Why? All because her heart was failing. There was no solution in sight. When all hope was lost in the fog of disillusion, in came AI as a ray of sunlight. AI ran through more than 200 million medical journals in less than 6 minutes and found the exact problem Diya was suffering from. Today, Dia lives. She breathes. She goes to school. She writes essays. She writes poetry. And most importantly, she calls AI her second heartbeat. Now to my opponents. The next time you want AI to stop, go tell Dia's parents that children like Dia don't deserve to live or change your views. Because in the end, it's never too late. It's never too late to change. It's never too late to adapt. And it's certainly never too late to grow. As René Descartes once said, we think, therefore we are. And on this stage today, I want you all to think. Think about AI and think about progress, rather than submitting to fear and stagnancy. Because in the end, it's not just machines that I'm defending. It's the infinite possibilities of the human mind. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Strength of monsoon. Gentle, steady, and fully present. Let's try something new today. Let's journey into the future. I can imagine several industries fully automated. Robotic doctors, classrooms without teachers, and AI embedded in almost every field. However, I cannot decide what our situation will be. And that uncertainty, that's exactly why I stand for the motion, because artificial intelligence possesses a greater threat than opportunity. You may have heard of Anjana 2.0, the AI clone of Anjana Om Kashyap, India's one of the most iconic anchors. It's astonishing, yes, but also bewildering. Here's the truth. Personalities can be copied, individuality cannot. Even when people share the same perspective, their way of expressing it is uniquely their own. My dear opponents, that is the magic of being a human. Heterogeneity of thought is extremely important for a healthy society. Yet, we are entering towards a world where our thoughts, perspectives, styles, behaviors, even our expressions, everything is molded by AI. We are progressing at a rapid rate, no doubt, but one of the key reasons for that progress have always been the waters of concern, nourishing the seedlings of different ideas. And from those many seedlings, one may bloom into something extraordinary. However, this water is now polluted and our minds slowly rusted. Here's a question to my beloved audience and opponents. Can a campus with no empathy, no moral ethics point us to humanity? We are handing AI the power to judge cases, to diagnose critical illness, and to inform our daily beliefs. But it cannot feel, it cannot repent, and it certainly cannot regret. What if it errs? It never loses sleep. It never whispers an apology. I don't consider it progress. I hope you have seen the movie Robot. In the movie, Chitty, one of the characters, was a result of human brilliance. But when left unchecked, he had the power to obliterate everything in his path, even his own creator. AI in warfare, a past in sight, a present innovation, and a future full of unpredictability. The Israel-Hamas war still continues, reminding us that the pattern of war is now changing. The decisions once made by generals are now made by machines. Habzora, which is also known as gospel, is used to rapidly generate bombing targets using pattern recognition and probabilistic inference. My arguments lie in this one line itself, so let's break it one by one. First, it works on pattern and not on people. Second, it is fast, but it is not always wise. Third, it works on probability and not on proof. And mind you, probability is probability. If there's an 80% chance that someone's a threat, there's still 20% chance that that someone can be a civilian, a doctor, or even a child. War cannot be built on guesses because one mistake is not just a mistake, it's a life lost. Education, AI in education holds immense power. We envision computerized classrooms, immersive 3D diagrams. However, nothing can replace the scent of new textbooks or the comfort of chalk-dusted classrooms. We marvel at AI because it can predict, but will it ever pause? Will it ever question itself? Will it ever say, maybe I shouldn't? So I ask, not as a technophobe, but as a torchbearer of thought. What if the greatest threat isn't that AI starts thinking like us, but what if we stop thinking altogether? With that, I rest my case. Thank you.
Man walks confidently down the street, guided not by a person but by a smart device. A farmer predicts droughts before they even happen. A kid in a remote village get access to personalized education. This is not fiction. This is the power of AI. Good morning, I am Purvi and I stand strongly against the motion that AI is a bigger threat than opportunity. Let's start with what matters the most, saving lives. If AI detects cancer earlier and save lives, would you still call it a threat? Because that's what exactly AI is doing. In the UK and US, AI detects cancer more accurately than the radiologists. So my respected opponent, I ask, would you trust a slow diagnosis over a life-saving alert? Is saving lives really a threat to you? My worthy opponents say that AI makes learning robotic, but AI supports teachers. It adapts to each student's pace. Think of Duolingo giving free language lessons to world, and during COVID when everything shut down, AI didn't. It kept students connected, learning, growing from their homes. To the worthy interlocutor, I ask, when AI becomes an only teacher in a village, and not only that, if AI could keep education alive during a pandemic, how can we possibly call it a threat? My worthy interlocutors argue that AI does no good to environment and farming. But I smell a rat in courts because in Beijing, IBM's AI forecasts pollution which helps in reducing smog. And in farming, tools like See and Spray reduces the use of pesticides by 90%. AI doesn't need lunch breaks. It monitors soil and saves water even when we sleep. It helps the hand that feeds us. So my point here is, if we did fear tractors when it replaced plow, then why do we have to fear AI, which is the modern tool to feed billions responsibly? My worthy interlocutors claim that AI is stealing jobs. But now we have AI trainers, ethic officers, prompt engineers, chatbot designers, and even AI therapists. I ask, did we stop teaching maths when calculators came? Or did we shut down work when internet arrived? No, right? We adapted, we evolved. I want my worthy opponents to understand that AI is not stealing our jobs. It is just changing the job description. And do we realize how AI is already a part of our everyday lives? Let me tell you how. Amazon predicts our need before we even search. Grammarly corrects our grammar in seconds. Google Maps save time and fuel. ChatGPT helps students, teachers, entrepreneurs on a daily basis. Let's be real. We trust AI with our messages, our driving, and even our spellings. And now, let's finally address how AI stood like a warrior during Operation Sindoor. It not only guided drones like Heron and Harrock, powered the Akshati defense system, but also recreated attack footages to raise public awareness. Yes, I agree that AI must be used responsibly. But calling it a threat when it makes our lives so much easier in so many ways, that's not just wrong, that's ignoring the reality. And remember, AI is a tool and tools don't harm people, misusers do. And now I would finally like to conclude my debate by asking all my worthy interlocutors one final question. If they truly believe that AI is only a danger, then I can only assume they didn't use ChatGPT, Google or Grammarly while preparing their arguments. Because if they did, AI helped them too. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Once said, the development of full AI could spell the end of the human race. This is not some part of a science fiction. This is a sobering reality. Respected principal sir, honorable judges, and my dear audience, good morning. Today I, J. Rajratn Gupta from Ganges House, am going to speak for the motion artificial intelligence poses a bigger threat than opportunity. AI, which was meant to be a boon, an ocean of knowledge which would help us any time we need it. But now it has turned out to be something else. a digital spoon feeder which is killing our creativity and is making us hollow. In this race of modernization, we have totally forgotten what actually matters. Our knowledge, experience, hard work, just to be more modern and developed in terms of technology. We have started to rely on AI for the smallest tasks, whether it is to get the answer of a question, to get an idea, or any other activity. And why? Because it is more effective than us. But we are forgetting that for the sake of convenience, this very same AI is dulling some of the very skills which made us the most intelligent species in this entire planet. That is our critical thinking, problem solving, decision making, and many more. Now, we are already knowing that in future, AI will take many jobs in different sectors like healthcare, finance, law, and many more. But my question is, who will face the consequences of this change the most? It will be us, the common people, who will be left nowhere, having nothing to do and perish. And if, my dear audience, you all think that AI will create some jobs too at the same time, then you all are mistaken. Because in reality, the number of jobs created by AI will be way less than the number of jobs taken by it. And by replacing humans in these fields, AI is questioning the mere existence of us. And then you all say it poses a bigger opportunity. And if this AI tends to be more improved and powerful in the future, it can even take over humanity. We all know the famous humanoid robot Sophia. In an interaction, after winning in a game of rock, paper and scissors, said it was a good beginning of her plan to dominate the human race. So my question to my worthy opponents is that when AI can crack such jokes, can't it do anything to humanity? Probably yes. And these all are not the only things we have to worry for. AI generated images and videos are getting so realistic that a time will come where it will be difficult for us to figure out which one is real and which one is fake. This will lead to several cases of misinformation, and this has been told to us by our Honorable Principal Sir too in many assemblies. And since we all know AI is trained on different sets of data, my question is, what if that data will be biased? Then the outcome of that AI will be biased too, right? Then how can you say that it will be moral and ethical in the future? We have to realize that AI is the shortcut, not the solution, because it is intelligence without empathy. At last, I would like to say that we should focus on improving our knowledge and understanding, because in the upcoming journey of life, it will be our wisdom and presence of mind which will come in our use and not some AI. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you for ending the respected judges and worthy opponents and everyone present over here. Today I, Shaili, stand here to speak against the motion that artificial intelligence poses greater threat than an opportunity. As John Dewey once said, every great advance in science is issued from the new audacity of imagination. And I truly agree, because artificial intelligence is not a threat, it's a reflection of how we choose to use it. If guided by purpose and ethics, artificial intelligence is not a threat, it's a great opportunity to transform life and build a smarter world. Now, let me begin by addressing what AI has already done for us. First, in the field of healthcare, AI is being used to detect cancer at earlier stages and even diseases that doesn't even show early symptoms that even a top doctor may miss. If that's not progress, then my worthy opponents, what is? Second, imagine your loved one crossing the road and then suddenly an AI-powered auto-braking car brakes just in time. Would you still call that a threat or a miracle of this modern technology? It's clearly AI. And my are not based on assumption. If there is a real-life example, Tesla is reported to be reducing car accidents. From classrooms to clinics, from roads to rescue mission, AI is already uplifting our life in a way we only once imagined. Now coming to what fears many the most, jobs. Yes, but I think AI cannot take human beings' job. I do agree in fields like graphic designing, it's okay to generate thousands of output and pick the one you like the most. But that's for our convenience. How? A, it saves our time. B, it makes our work more efficient. Now, let me address the darkest fear linked with AI. Wars. Let me tell you that AI does not ignite wars, humans do. Let me tell you that AI does not ignite wars, humans do. AI is a tool and not a terror. We people and our choice and our politics and our greed is that turns machines into missiles. And at last, I would like to leave you all with one question, that if we are the one who are creating AI, and if we are the one who is programming AI, and if we are the one who guides its purpose, then why are we fearing AI? Fearing AI clearly means doubting your own intentions, because at the end of the day, AI future does not lie with us humans, it lies with... Thank you.
First and foremost, just a while ago, about half an hour before, I think I addressed you, where I asked you all to listen. So when a teacher or principal scolds, he or she does it for your own betterment. And then after that, we were tested. We were tested by the MPB department when they took away the power. And I want to appreciate your response to that also. The debate went on, and very surprisingly, you all have witnessed something magical. About 500 of us are over here, and 500 of us were able to hear the participants debating so well. Am I right, children? Yes. And the credit goes to all of you. Applaud for yourself. In the morning, we heard little kids delivering speech on gratitude. Then classes 4 and 5, they debated on. They also delivered the speech on confidence. And then we had this wonderful debate with you all. The first one was on climate change, and then AI. Wonderful topics. You all heard a lot. While listening to all of you, right from class 2 onwards till 12th, I was looking at all the participants, and I was reminded of a poem that we had read somewhere when I was in class 8. It was about a schoolmaster. No, this is not the one. The old village schoolmaster. Anyways, Oliver's. Wait, let me see. Oh, why I wanted to recite that poem, in that poem, the children of the school, including the villagers, used to wonder at the knowledge of that man, because he could almost teach all the subjects. Though he was strict, but still children loved him because the teacher loved all the children from his heart. And towards the end, the poem ends by the villagers and the children wondering one small head could store so much of knowledge. And I connected it with while listening to all of you from class 2 to 12 children delivering their speeches and also their debates. I was also wondering that how well our children have groomed up. I was really impressed and felt proud to be your principal. Throughout the year, children, we have so many competitions. We see children coming forth on the stage, taking part, proving themselves either as debaters or speakers or dancers or singers. And then you have drawing and painting competitions, collages, everywhere you are shining, and you also shine in your academics. Periodic tests are being taken on regular basis. So a holistic kind of development you are being exposed to. Come to school, behave well, keep the property safe, do not spoil things. If you come across someone doing that, stop them, because he or she is spoiling your property, your facility. I hope this is getting registered. We still find, after all these advices, we find, especially the boys' toilets, I don't know how and why you go and break up the pipes or the doors, because you yourself have to go to those washrooms again, and you are spoiling your own facility. Stop doing those of you who are doing it. It doesn't make sense. It puts you under tamasic mode. Erase tamasic nature from your lives. There's so much to learn. Today, I'm happy that you all were listening carefully. Artificial intelligence is going to make our lives better and better in the days to come. I hope that doesn't take place. Till artificial intelligence can read our minds. The debaters will agree with me? Yes. All other algorithms that are being fed. Yes, one more thing which one of the debaters also pointed out, that AI is not necessarily correct always, because it depends on the data that it takes. If the data is wrong, the outcome will be wrong. So human brain, human mind will always be above AI. Not now, even in the centuries to come. So develop that mind that you possess. Bring in good things. Always think that I have to contribute to the society. You have taken this birth as human being to do something good, not to break around things, go with tamasic buddhi. आप ये छोटे मोटे कामों के लिए नहीं पैदा हुए, आप किसी बड़े मकसद के लिए पैदा हुए हो, और ये आपको अपने आप को ही बताना है और उस राह पे चलना है. आप छोटी छोटी चीजें, गलत चीजें करोगे तो आप उस राह पे चल पड़ोगे. Believe in yourselves that you are here to do miracles, and miracles will happen every day in your lives. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. It's always a pleasure listening to sir. That is why we always want him to. Time is less. When Group C, against the motion, the second prize is backed by Mohammad Ahan Khan of Jhelum House. And the winner against the motion is Aradhya Chopra of Satluj House. For the motion, the second position against the For the motion, the second position is backed by Kritika Singh of Jhelum House. And the winner of the competition is, for the motion, Tanish Jaiswal of Satluj House. Tanish Jaiswal bagged the first position for the motion. Now for Group D, against the motion, the second prize is bagged by Adarsh Srivastav of Satluj House. And the first position is backed by Purvi Kumari of Jhelum House. For the motion, the second prize is backed by J. Rajratan Gupta of Ganges House. And the first prize is backed by Ashita Shukla of Jhelum House. The house wardens also to join us, the house wardens of the winners.